Such perfect timing because I just got my Bowmar Nutrition order in the mail. I did a pretty big order this time just because I was almost completely out of supplements, so very excited about this. This is what I'm going to be putting in today's smoothie. Sometimes I'll add in protein powder if I'm feeling like I'm a little bit low on protein, but in today's smoothie I'm definitely going to be adding it in. This is the protein wedding cake. It is so good. I've tried it before. It's like the best vanilla ever. I'll just show you what else I got. I also got the protein hot chocolate. This one is also really, really good, just mixed with water, hot or cold. I got the protein frosted cookie. I haven't tried that one yet. Protein blueberry cheesecake. Everyone raves about this one and I haven't had a chance to try it yet, so I'm very, very excited to try this one. And then I got a non-stimulant pre-workout. I ran out of mine, so I wanted to see how this flavor is. This is the strawberry kiwi. And I also got some collagen. I was out of my collagen that I was using previous, so I'm very excited to try their collagen. And then I also got a couple samples. I love that Bowmar Nutrition, you can get samples, so if you want to try something before you actually order it, you can just try like one sample versus ordering the whole thing. So excited. So like I said, I'm going to be adding this one to our smoothies. Chris doesn't do protein powder just because we think he's allergic, but I'm going to add it to mine. What's up YouTube fam? Welcome to today's video. If you are new to my channel, hi, I'm Olivia. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you find it helpful and I hope you enjoy today's tips. Today we are diving into ways to eat healthy while on a budget. Even if you're not on a budget and you want to just save a few dollars, I get it. I do the same. I hope you find this video helpful. So let's just go ahead and dive on in. I got my smoothie that I made with some of these tips. I am feeling good and I'm ready to go. I also got my Diet Coke as well because I didn't need it, but I really wanted it. So here we are. Smoothie, Diet Coke, water. I got all of the beverages. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to say is I find that so many people say that eating healthy is expensive, and yes, it can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be. I find that a lot of people say that eating healthy is expensive because they spend so much of their time eating out. Eating out is expensive. Eating healthy is less expensive than eating out, and I am so sure of that because I've seen weeks in my bank account where I've eaten out a lot and weeks where I've stayed home and made my own food, and there is a drastic difference. So my big tip for you is to just take a look at how often you're eating out. If you want to save some money, eating at home is definitely going to do so. If you do want to eat at home, you do need to make sure that your fridge is stocked and your pantry is stocked, so you're going to want to head to the grocery store. Before you even head to the grocery store, I recommend doing a couple of things. First things first is you are going to want to make a list of what you need. So plan out your meals for the week or for the next few days, however long you like to grocery shop for. I know that everyone's different. I usually like to just grocery shop for a couple days and I go to the grocery store frequently. That's just what I prefer. So I would just plan out my meals, especially things like dinners, just because those I usually change up every single night, whereas sometimes my breakfast and my lunch kind of remains the same as well as my snacks throughout the day. So that when I go to the grocery store, I know exactly what ingredients I need and I'm not wandering around grabbing random things. Another thing that I want to share is don't grocery shop while you're hungry. I am a huge believer in this because I struggle a lot when I'm at the grocery store and I'm hungry and I see the snack aisle and I want the snacks and I want the ice cream and I end up caving. So I always make sure that I've at least had a snack before I head to the grocery store, or even better, a meal. Obviously, sometimes that's just not the case. You just gotta run in and grab some things, and that's when your willpower's gotta be really strong. But majority of the time, I try to make sure that my stomach is full and I'm satiated before I head to the grocery store because it really does help me just stay on track with grabbing what I need. Also, when you're trying to figure out where you wanna go grocery shopping, be mindful of this as well. This can help you save a lot of money. It is insane to me how you can go to a grocery store, fill up a basket, and then go to a different grocery store and fill up a basket with the exact same foods, and the difference in cost can be huge. You would think that because of the difference in cost that the quality of food would be a lot better at the grocery store that's more expensive, but that's definitely not always the case. So if you're wanting to pay for higher quality foods, by all means go for the grocery store that might be a little bit more expensive, but also just keep in mind that some grocery stores you're kind of just paying for like the name of the grocery store. So be mindful of where you're shopping because that can really help you save a lot of money. Once you head into the grocery store, there's tons of different ways that you can save some dollar bills. So first things first is I like to get my meats when they're on sale. When I notice that there's a big sale happening, I stock up on meats, and I don't keep them fresh in my fridge because they would all go bad before I could eat them. So I just portion them out and throw them into the freezer. So we'll portion them out usually into Tupperware or Ziploc bags, and then put them in the freezer, label them with the date and then also what kind of protein source it is. And then I know that I'm getting the protein source at a much better price than it is when it's regular price. The freezer aisle is going to be a very good friend of yours. And there's so many things that you can get from the freezer aisle that are flash frozen. I always struggle saying that. They're flash frozen, so you're not losing any micronutrients when you eat vegetables or fruits that are frozen, depending on the brand. Majority of brands are really great though. Feel free to get your fruits and get your veggies from there. I always get tons of fruit. I put them in my yogurt bowl, I put them in my oatmeal, in my smoothies. I will sometimes just eat them as is. There's so many different things that you can do with frozen fruit. You can put them as a dessert, in ice cream. Oh my gosh. The options are seriously endless. And same goes for vegetables. You can always have vegetables readily available to you if you're stocking up on freezer veggies. So I highly recommend doing this. I always have tons of fruits and tons of veggies in my freezer at all times. That way I know if I run out of like fresh produce, I know that I still have really good healthy options available in the freezer. Another aisle that'll be a good friend of yours is the canned food aisles. A lot of people try to avoid canned foods. I don't know why. Canned foods can be such a great way to save on money, but also again have a stocked pantry so that you have foods available to you at all times, just because they're preserved for so much longer. So I like to get lots of vegetables from the canned aisle. I also like to get some lean protein sources. Some of my favorite vegetables that I like to buy from the canned aisle are things like mushrooms, corn, diced tomatoes. I don't know, I can't think of any else off the top of my head, but you can definitely get tons and tons of different vegetables. It really depends on what you're wanting to make. There's so many different things that you can get. There's beans, there's peas, there's carrots. The options are endless. Some of my favorite protein sources are chickpeas, beans, canned tuna, canned salmon. All of these foods are really great sources of protein, so it's nice that again you can just always have them in your house because they stay good for so long. And that's another bonus thing, is that they won't go to waste because it takes a while for them to expire. Also, just a little side tip, make sure that when you are putting foods in your pantry, you're putting the oldest stuff at the front and the newest stuff at the back. That way you're kind of rotating through your foods and you're not letting anything go to waste. And of course, always check the expiry date too, because canned things that do sometimes go to waste because you feel like a year hasn't passed, but a year has passed. Don't be afraid to shop the no-name brands. No-name brands make sometimes just as good of quality foods as the bigger brands. So if you want to save some money, you can definitely shop no name, and that goes for way more than just canned foods. That can go for literally anything in the grocery store. There's some things like Heinz ketchup that I'm just going to always buy the proper ketchup versus the no name because that's just a preference of mine, but there's other things where you can buy the no name and you wouldn't even know the difference between the two. So always check the ingredient list and see what that looks like. If it looks pretty similar to the big brands, then why not go for it and save some money? Another way that you can save some money is shopping in bulk. Shopping in the bulk section is always going to save you money. So some things that I like to get in the bulk section are things like oats, chocolate chips. If I want some candy, I'll get my candy in the bulk section. I'll get nuts or like trail mix. So many different things that you can grab. Basically anything for baking is available there for the most part. So lots of different options that you can get in bulk. And bulk's always going to be cheaper than if you're buying things right from the bag. Once you get home from the grocery store, staying organized is going to be a huge part of not letting this food go to waste. If you're wasting food, you're wasting money. So really try your best to organize things in your fridge in a way that just makes sense. So make sure you keep your produce available to you in sight. I find that if I tuck away produce in the fridge, it just ends up going to waste because when I open up my fridge, I don't see it, so I don't use it. If it's right there in front of you, it's gonna be a reminder every time that you open the fridge to go ahead and use it up. Another thing is that you're so much more likely to eat those vegetables if they're right there in front of you. It also really helps staying organized just because you'll know exactly what foods you already have in your fridge so that you're not buying doubles of things or triples of things. It's very obvious what you have and what you need. The last thing I want to say is that meal prepping can also help you out big time. If the foods are already cooked and prepared, you're so much more likely to eat the foods than you are if you have to make them. So meal prepping is a huge thing thing that can help you. Also, if you notice that things are starting to expire, you have meats or vegetables that are starting to go bad, go ahead, cook them up. It'll preserve them for a few more days. So meal prepping can definitely help as well. I know it can be overwhelming and it seems like a lot of work, but I promise you, you're gonna save time and money if you meal prep in advance. So you definitely won't regret doing so. So those are all of the tips that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you found this video helpful. I use these tips every single time that I go to the grocery store because I want to save money where I can, and I'm sure you do too. So if you guys found this helpful, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what video you want to see next, as I'm feeling like I need some inspiration and some ideas. So let me know below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate your support and I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me today. And Henrik's crying, so I gotta go, but I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!